Welcome to the 11th first annual Ig Nobel Prize ceremony, and to the wedding of Lisa Danielson and Will Stefanoff. I'm Karen Hopkins. I'm the creator of the Studmuffins of Science calendar. Thank you. And I welcome you. The ceremony is inflicted on you by the science humor magazine, The Annals of Improbable Research, better known as AIR, and by the Harvard-Radcliffe Science Fiction Association, better known as HRSFA, and by the Harvard Computer Society, who want to be better known, and by the Harvard-Radcliffe Society of Physics students, who they know better than to want to be better known, and by a strange but wonderful funny book called The Best of the Annals of Improbable Research, now available in German, Italian, English, and Chinese. We're gathered here tonight at Sanders Theater at Harvard University, and the proceedings this evening will be simultaneously presented in German.
Die Prozeduren werden simultan in Deutsch übersetzt.
And simultaneously presented in Spanish.
Presentado simultáneamente en español.
And simultaneously presented in Italian.
Presentado simultáneamente en italiano, que es un gran idioma.
And simultaneously presented in Japanese.
本日の式次第は日本語によって同日通訳されます。
Presentado simultánea.
We begin now, thank you, with the entrance of the Nobel laureates, the Ig Nobel Prize winners, the bride and groom, the 24/7 lecturers, and other sordid and sundry dignitaries.
¿Y qué es la vida? Es una ilusión. ¿Qué es la vida? Un frenesí. Una sombra, una ficción. Que todo viene pequeño y todo viene al sueño. Y los sueños son.
They're still coming. Several more are now approaching the stage. Be careful of the airplane. A dignified lot. Very attractive bunch this year, too. Slow, though.
Son bien despacios. No saben qué están haciendo. Están caminando como si estuvieran yendo a la playa. Señor, ¿qué tiene en la cabeza?
I think that's the lot of them. And now, the grand introduction of the delegations, led by the exalted Grand High Panjandrums of Delegations, Luis Sacco.
¿Quién es él? ¿Quién es este señor? ¿Por qué está aquí? Yo no sé quién quiere hacer esto.
As we introduce each delegation, it will make its presence known by standing up and twirling in place 3 times, counterclockwise. Please greet them all with the respect they deserve.
Si se pagan 3 veces para darse la vuelta.
Let's begin the introductions. First, we have the Museum of Bad Art, the only museum in the world that collects, exhibits, and celebrates art too bad to be ignored. The Museum of Bad Art. The Junior Scientists. Students from the Young Achievers Science and Math School, Boston Public Schools, grades K through 8. Where are the Junior Scientists? They're up there. The Harvard-Radcliffe Science Fiction Association. They're back there. The Harvard Computer Society. The Harvard-Radcliffe Society of Physics Students. The lawyers for and against complexity. Two soon-to-be related delegations, the family, friends, and traveling fans of the bride, and the family, friends, and traveling fans of the groom.
さあ本日まもなく一つの脱退しようとする2つの代表団の皆さんです。本日の新郎新婦。
The Prudence Risley University Demagoguery of Experimental Sexuality, aka the Prudes.
Son medio locos.
コーネル大学よりいらっしゃいましたエクスペリメンタルセクシュアリティの皆さん、うんぬんうんぬんうんぬん。
Boston Mensa, the Society for People who score in the abnormal range on certain psychological tests.
Los exámenes no
メンサ
son
協会
muy
の皆さん
buenos.
です。皆さん過去の
The Boston New England Skeptical Society. Their motto, we have a complex about pseudoscience.
Ellos no creen nada.
スケプティカル協会の皆さん、
The Church of Cognobology. Better living through household appliances. Learning to love your toaster without getting burned.
アプライアンスを用いまして
The Society for the Preservation of Indigenous Units
¿Están hablando tanto?
and Vinyl.
これは難しい、訳せない。
And the Black Jokers, the Boston area Morris dancers.
Párense por favor para que les podamos ver.
Ah, there they are. Dancing.
さあ、しんがりを務めますのはブラックジョーカー、ウォルク酒の冗談の皆さんです。
One of the Nobel laureates thought we should talk about slow.
This part is not necessary.
¿Por qué bailan así? ¿Son de este mundo? No creo que son humanos.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, they'll be seated eventually. Sit ye down.
Siéntense.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, literati, glitterati, and pseudo-intellectuals. And you right there, you know who you are. That's right, I'm talking to you. May I introduce our Master of Ceremonies, the editor of the Annals of Improbable Research, the chief airhead, Mark Abrams.
Señor, es bien famoso, pero no tenía eso.
ここで我々が受賞するインプラブルをご紹介します。
There he is.
Thank you. Good evening. We are here tonight, gathered to honor people whose achievements cannot or should not be reproduced. We're also here for the wedding of two scientists who are in love. Lisa Danielson and Will Stefanov. The wedding will occur at the end of tonight's ceremony. The entire wedding ceremony will last 60 seconds. As far as we've been able to determine, this will be the very first wedding ever performed here in Sanders Theater. As you've already heard, but as you'll hear many times again, the Ig Nobel Prize ceremony is produced by the science humor magazine, The Annals of Improbable Research. It is proudly co-sponsored by the Harvard-Radcliffe Science Fiction Association, and by the Harvard Computer Society, and by the Harvard-Radcliffe Society of Physics Students, and by that wonderful book, The Best of the Annals of Improbable Research, now available in German, Italian, and English, and come November, in Chinese. Tonight, 10 prizes will be given. The achievements speak for themselves all too eloquently. And now let me introduce the several hundred people who are sitting here on our stage. First, our Nobel laureates. A 1978 Nobel laureate in physics from the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, Robert Wilson. A 1993 Nobel laureate in physiology or medicine from New England Biolabs, Rich Roberts. A 1986 Nobel laureate in chemistry from Harvard University, Dudley Hirschbach. A 1979 Nobel laureate in physics from Boston University and Harvard University, Sheldon Glashow. Forgot to come. A 1976 Nobel, if anyone has a cell phone, if you could call Shelley at his home, we would appreciate it. A 1976 Nobel laureate in chemistry from Harvard University, Professor William Lipscomb. A 1990 Nobel laureate in physics from MIT, Jerome Friedman, as usual, was prevented at the last moment from joining us. However, he appears now via the magic of slides and audio tape.
All of you are enjoying this occasion as much as I am.
That was not a slide of Professor Friedman, but I'm sure you'll be seeing it at some somewhat random time later. Several other laureates will also be joining us in electronic or other form. And now let us meet some of the other authority figures who are here on our stage. Our Major Domo, Gary Dreyfus. Our Minor Domos, Stephanie Friedhoff, Julia Lunetta, Har Paul Coley, Genevieve Reynolds, and Naomi Stephen. Our complexifiers, Robin Pierce and Stanley Eigen. Our performing Swedish scientists, Joost Bonsen and Daniel Rosenberg. The human spotlight, glittery Isabel Rosenberg. The official keepers of the mop who will sweep detritus from the stage, Roy Glauber and Doug Berman. Our control and command elements, the Ig Nobel referee, Mr. John Barrett. For those worried about sex and violence, our V-chip monitor will attempt to block anything offensive from reaching your eyes, ears, or fingertips. Here is our V-chip monitor, prominent attorney William J. Maloney. Mr. Maloney, will you please demonstrate your displeasure?
Certainly.
Thank you. As you know, if you have come to this ceremony in years past, we once had a problem. Many of the speakers would exceed their allotted time. Here is how we now solve that problem. Please welcome the charming, delightful, ever so cute Miss Sweetie Poo. Miss Sweetie Poo is 9 years old, just as she was last year. Miss Sweetie Poo, will you please demonstrate what you'll do when a speaker exceeds his or her allotted time?
Please stop. I'm bored. Please stop. I'm bored.
Thank you, Miss Sweetie Poo.
Please stop. I'm bored.
Thank you, Miss Sweetie Poo.
Stop.
Thank you, Miss Sweetie
I'm
Poo.
bored.
Thank you. On with the introductions, which will take just another 25 minutes. Our house musicians, the group The Ig Leaves, Nick Karstoyu, Jonathan Wobeski, and Mark Williamson. Our Ig Nobel operatic pianists from New Zealand, Greg Neal, is somewhere in the house, and you'll meet him in a little bit. There are other important people up here. You will meet them later. The ceremony will be broadcast on the day after Thanksgiving on National Public Radio's Talk of the Nation Science Friday with Ira Flato. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce our presiding monarchs. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the King and Queen. Their Majesties, the King and Queen of Swedish Meatballs. Thank you, Your Majesties. You may take your seats, your thrones. Expeditiously, so that we may all be seated. You may be seated. And now, Dr. Micheline Matthews Roth will give the traditional Ig Nobel Welcome, Welcome speech.
Welcome, welcome.
The editors of the Annals of Improbable Research have chosen a theme for this year's ceremony. That theme is complexity. To introduce the theme of complexity, here is a past Ig Nobel Prize winner who will step up and say a few brief words to you. A 1996 Ig Nobel Prize winner, the creator of the plastic pink flamingo. Please welcome Don Featherstone and his wife, Nancy Featherstone.
Well, the flamingos did it again, I guess. Is this the 24/7?
No.
Just, okay.
Go for it.
Well, the flamingos are going on for another year. This is 45 years they've been around. And they're still selling. Like I said before, we tried to make things for people with good taste, and it didn't work out. We worked with flamingos, and they've been great. Yes.
They brought something with them.
We've brought a gift for the bride and groom. They're dressed appropriately. And when the bride and groom get home,
we hope that their love is enduring as the pink flamingo.
and if that doesn't work, you can take the clothes off of them, put them on the front yard, and try to look normal.
Thank you. Now, here's a word about healthcare from a longtime sponsor of the Ig Nobel Prize ceremony, everyone's favorite healthcare provider, HMO No.
Hello, I'm Gary Dreyfus, the marketing director for HMO No. And here's another very important word about healthcare from HMO No.
With healthcare, you should expect the best.
Most people are healthy most of the time. So why pay for health care all of the time?
With our 50-50 plan, you are covered for a full 6 months of the year. And it's entirely your choice of which months.
If you're confident about your future, HMO No's 50-50 plan is a good plan for you.
HMO No.
Oh no! Because we care about you.
And your pocketbook.
Now, get set for something special. Throughout the evening, we will be conducting the 24/7 seminars. These seminars feature some of the world's top thinkers. Each 24/7 lecturer will explain his or her subject twice. First, a complete technical description in 24 seconds. And then, after a brief pause, a clear summary that anyone can understand in 7 words. The 24-second time limit will be enforced by our referee, Mr. John Barrett. Mr. Barrett, would you come up here, please? Mr. Barrett, do you have any advice for our lecturers?
Gentlemen, keep it clean.
Now let's have the first group of 24/7 seminars. Will the fractal mathematicians bar the doors? The first round of 24/7 seminars is about to begin. If I can get a little more light so that I can read what I'm about to tell you. Thank you, human spotlight. The first 24/7 seminar will be delivered by Harvard professor Margot Seltzer. Professor Seltzer's topic, computers.
Software merely players. It has its bytes and its bit, each bit taking on many values, its cardinality being 2. At first the 0 grounding and sinking in its memory array, and then the 1 with shiny electrons flashing, counting powers of 2 in increasing numbers. Last state that terminates this strange binary existence is rebooting.
7 words.
Computer software. Good, fast, cheap. Pick 2.
You should have waited to begin until I told you on your mark, get set, go. And now, the next lecture by Smith College Professor Danny Adams. Professor Adams' topic, biology. On your mark, get set, go.
Biology recapitulates life's relationships. For example, there are initiation factors such as hilus. Focal contacts and complements stimulate countercurrent exchange. Histocompatibility and zinc fingers can give rise to chemiosmotic coupling, but germ cells can cause sticky ends, while degenerate codons and gross anatomy such as spongy parenchyma can provoke epiphytes, which usually result in a ta-ta. If it can get infected, it's biology.
Now, just before we begin announcing this year's Ig Nobel Prize winners, here is a musical treat, the world premiere of a new mini-opera called The Wedding Complex. Those of you listening on radio can read the words on our website, www.improbable.com. There are 4 acts, 1 now, 3 later. Be aware that the 4th act, the final act, comes at the very end of the evening and will culminate in the wedding of Lisa and Will. Here is Act 1. Our lead singer is an innovative scientist. And now, here is our narrator, Karen Hopkin.
Scientists are fascinated by that natural phenomenon we call love. Every so often, 2 scientists will join an experiment they call marriage. Tonight's opera shows how the entire scientific community collaborates to formulate the wedding plans. In Act 1 of our opera, an eminent scientist tells her colleagues that complexity theory, whatever that is the key to having a good wedding.
And now, let's get it over with. Ladies and gentlemen, the awarding of the 2001 Ig Nobel Prizes. We're giving out 10 prizes. The winners come from 6 nations on 4 continents. This year's winners have truly earned their prizes. Karen, tell them what they've won.
Mark, this year, the winners each receive a shopping bag.
What else?
Inside is a treasure trove of goodies. An Ig Nobel Prize.
What else?
That's it, actually.
Oh, that's too bad. Huh. Thank you, Karen. And as pointed out, this is the coveted Ig Nobel Prize. And now our winners. First, the Medicine Prize. The Ig Nobel Medicine Prize is awarded to Peter Barse of McGill University for his impactful medical report, Injuries Due to Falling Coconuts.
So I did this work in Papua New Guinea, and Mark asked me to bring a few things from Papua New Guinea, but there are war shields and spears and fierce-looking headdresses, and I heard people are getting arrested with paper clips now at the border, so I decided I could only bring a few pictures of the wonderful people I worked with that helped me do my research. These were the source of our burns, grass skirts. These are the types of trees people fall from, tree agriculture. And this is a man with a spinal cord injury falling from a tree, being taken away. Most of these people die, unfortunately. This is a simple device for removing breadfruit to prevent injuries. This is another one from Tahiti, the last one Fiji. Just a simple prevention measure of pruning mango trees so you don't have to climb so high and fall so hard. Some of the heights of tropical trees, about 10-story buildings, some of them. So the mass of a falling coconut is about a metric ton with a direct hit. So the worst place to be when a coconut falls is asleep under the tree, because your head is on the ground and you have a zero stopping distance, so the physicists know the kinetic energy is infinite. It's better to be standing up and get knocked down. Hi. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm bored.
Really, my
Please stop. I'm bored.
You didn't like
Stop. I'm bored.
my nice pictures? Oh, okay.
Now, we have a demonstration. The Physics Prize. This year's Ig Nobel Physics Prize is awarded to David Schmidt of the University of Massachusetts for his partial solution to the question of why shower curtains billow inward.
Excuse me while I don the proper headgear. Thank you. The Ig Nobel Prize is the greatest award I could have won for this. I think it's very appropriate because this was intended all the time to be fun. In my spare time, I just wanted to fool around with some fun science. I do computational fluid dynamics for my living. But I wanted to take advantage of that and do something that was purely to satisfy intellectual curiosity. The fact that there was no grant involved, no contract, no deliverables made it all the more fun. It made the work entirely mine. But one of the beauty of this problem is that everybody's got a shower they can stick their head into, poke around, come up with their own observations, and that makes this problem all of ours. Thank you very much. And I would like to present this present to the newlyweds. Many happy showers.
Now, please give your attention to Nobel laureate Rich Roberts.
Pray, give me your attention for a moment of silence.
This year's Ig Nobel Biology Prize is awarded to Buck Weimer of Pueblo, Colorado, for inventing Under-Ease, airtight underwear with a replaceable charcoal filter that removes bad-smelling gases before they can escape.
You know, they say if you remember the 60s, you weren't there. I don't remember the 60s, but I had a glean when I was thinking about what to say from the early 70s, and it comes in the shape of a song. I think you all may remember the name of this song. It's called Imagine. Imagine no odorous gas. It's easy if you try. No more burning nostrils, our tush securely covered. Imagine all the people wearing under-ease. Imagine no hole in the ozone. It isn't hard to do. No divorce, no crime rate. Truce in the Middle East. Imagine all the people wearing under-ease for peace. Hey, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. My wife is here also. I hope someday you'll join us With under ease, the world will be one. Imagine the odorless sound. I wonder if you can. No need for divorce or separation. Free from shame and guilt. Imagine all the people sharing under ease. I'm almost facing there. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. My wife is still here. I hope someday you'll join us. With under ease, the world will live as one. Also, we would like to present a gift in hopes of longevity to our newlyweds, male and female version.
Mr. Weimer told me earlier he also plans to give a gift to each of the Nobel laureates and to instruct them on its use. And now it says here we have a demonstration. Now, Act 2 of our opera stars Margot Button as the mother of the bride. Now, here is our narrator, Karen Hopkin.
Thank you, Mark. In Act 2 of our opera, the scientists receive some words of wisdom from an experienced and powerful research administrator. This particular administrator holds an official position that everyone respects and venerates, mother of the bride.
I'll tell you my plans for my girl's wedding day. Kids, you keep your hands well out of my way. My orchestration, your I told my daughter this is my wedding. We'll do it my way. We'll do it my way. Someday in the future, you will have a daughter. You'll understand then. You'll understand then. That's what I told her. My explanation, her education, your cooperation, our big day of fun. So I have written a good 100 pages of detailed instructions. So that you have to do is carry out every last detail. I have thought of everything that you'll have to do. The date, the clothes, the food, the who gets least, the whole shebang. Oh joy, my wedding, to see my blades go.
The Economics Prize. The Ig Nobel Economics Prize is awarded to Joel Slemrod of the University of Michigan Business School and Wojciech Kupchak of the University of British Columbia for their conclusion that people find a way to postpone their deaths if that would qualify them for a lower tax rate on the inheritance tax.
Well, never in my wildest dreams did I think it would be like this. I'm pleased to accept the Ig Nobel for myself and my co-author, who I think is watching the video stream up in Vancouver. Also, I think my son and daughter are watching. Hi, kids. We are pleased to accept this award because we believe in the spirit of the Ig, that the pursuit of science, even social science, can be fun, and that sometimes we learn by pushing our hypotheses into extreme and unlikely places. Our research provides evidence about something everybody already knows, that some people will do anything for money. Of course, other people live their whole lives with no regard for money, and sorting this out is a continuing challenge for economics. Little did we know that when we did this research, the U.S. Congress, in its wisdom, would vote to abolish the U.S. estate tax for the year 2010, and only the year 2010. Setting up the best natural experiment for a hypothesis ever conceived. Somebody, I think it may be Benjamin Franklin, once said that the only two inevitable things are death and taxes. Well, come 2010, it will be death or taxes. When I was a graduate student here at Harvard, and those of you who are graduate students, don't despair, someday you may, well, anyway. Finally, I'd like to dedicate this award to my late father, who loved science and who loved to laugh, who wanted me to be a physicist but was happy when I became an economist, and who would have loved to be here with all of you tonight. Thanks, this is great.
Will the combinatorists bar the doors? It's time for the second group of 24/7 seminars. The next 24/7 seminar will be delivered by the creator of the plastic pink flamingo, Don Featherstone. His topic, art. First, technical description of the subject in 24 seconds. On your mark, get set, go.
Whether you're doing something classical or whether you're doing something impressionistic, modernistic, art must have some basics. Balance, design, color. And if you're just throwing paint on a canvas, you have to know when you've hit it just right to have the combination. Otherwise, there'll be another museum of very bad art. I've got more time.
Summary that anyone can understand in 7 words. On your mark, get set, go.
Art is the appreciation of creation.
The next 24/7 seminar will be delivered by the human being who has been officially proclaimed the sexiest geek alive, Mills College Professor Ellen Spertus. Professor Spertus's topic, sex. First, a complete technical description in 24 words, 24 seconds, pardon me. On your mark, get set, go.
A conundrum of hominid evolution is the runaway growth of the human brain in the past 2,500 millennia at a pace inexplicable through natural selection, as evidenced by the long delay in technological innovation. The neural explosion is better explained through sexual selection, which can explain runaway hypertrophy as the result of female mate selection for cranially endowed men.
And now, a clear summary that anyone can understand in 7 words. On your mark, get set, go.
Brainy ancestors considered sexy. Why not us?
The Literature Prize. The Ig Nobel Literature Prize this year is awarded to John Richards of Boston, England, founder of the Apostrophe Protection Society, for his efforts to protect, promote, and defend the differences between plural and possessive.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I must apologise for not being here in person, but I am surprised, even astonished and honoured to be making this acceptance speech here this evening. In fact, I can hardly believe it. It seems so unlikely, so improbable, which is an appropriate word to use on these circumstances. But I felt deeply about the fate of the apostrophe for many years, and it's encouraged me to find that many thousands of people share my views. And it really beats me why so many people still maltreat this tiny, defenceless creature, when, in the time it takes to listen to this speech, anyone can learn the basic rules of apostrophe usage by heart. In fact, I can hardly think of a better way of spending a minute, apart of course from listening to the acceptance speeches of our other guests. So may I thank you very much for the honour you've paid me this evening.
The Psychology Prize. The Ig Nobel Psychology Prize goes to Lawrence W. Sherman of Miami University, Ohio, for his influential research report, An Ecological Study of Glee in Small Groups of Preschool Children.
And you too. I love it. And you're what it's all about as well out there. You're having fun, it's gleeful. I want to thank Mark and the committee for inviting me here to accept this award, although it's kind of a dubious thing. In the world of joking, there's the one who tells the joke and the one who's the butt of the joke, and tonight I'm the butt of the joke. But I'm really impressed with the note that this is happening at the end of my career. And I'm really pleased it didn't happen at the beginning. Glee in small groups of children was my dissertation. It went on to get published in a very credible journal, Child Development. It went on to get a presentation at the first International Conference on Humor and Laughter. It has more than 120 different citations to the research, some as recently as 3 months ago at the 20th International Conference on Humor and Laughter that was in Washington, D.C. Glee was a positive side of humor, not a negative side. It was where people were laughing with each other, and it was the fact that we could be together and laugh, not necessarily at others, but with ourselves. But okay. In the words of Kurt Vonnegut, it's better to be used than not used at all.
Now, please give your attention to Nobel laureate Bob Wilson.
Please join me in a moment of science.
Now you appreciate that the tenure process at Harvard really is grueling. And now another word from everyone's favorite healthcare organization, HMO, no.
Hello. For some reason, I'm Gary Dreyfus, and for some other reason, I'm still the marketing director for HMO No. And here's another very important word about your health.
We just might have to operate on him. Do you have a chronic disease? Then join HMO No's Chronic Disease Club. It's no more expensive than other health plans and much more pleasant.
You know, studies show that chronic disease patients are sick and tired. It's easy to understand why. Their doctors insist on treatments that, frankly, never end. There's little respect for a patient's ability to cure him or herself.
HMO No's Chronic Disease Club is different. Rather than see a doctor, every month you'll meet for tea with others who have chronic diseases. There is mutual understanding and cookies.
Cookies! HMO No's chronic disease plan is for the optimist inside you. HMO No.
Oh,
no! Because we care about you.
And your pocketbook.
Nicely done.
Here is Act 3 of our opera, which features the Nobel laureates as laboratory assistants as the assembled scientists discuss their work. Now, here's our narrator, Karen Hopkin.
Scientifically speaking, perhaps the most difficult aspect of planning an experiment is deciding which materials to use. Yes, choosing the guest list for a wedding requires skill, patience, and attention to detail. and bravery. In Act 3 of our opera, the chief scientist and his collaborators perform this difficult task.
Best to choose correctly. Let's be mathematical, let's be fanatical, and a wee bit diplomatical. Always in theories, we'll have the perfect discs, cool guys and science chicks, academics, law and politics. Always in theory.
Most academic views are calculated to show whose platitudes are most inflated. One Yale department chair hates Camille Paglia 'cause she's so doctrinaire about genitalia. A man who studies notes obviously has the heart for the thing that now is Mandelbrot's. Each has a theory, one well-known harvester on meeting Derrida wouldn't even help him count his car. Each has a theory.
The poor urologists have no apologists in the ranks of gynecologists, except in theory.
Thank you so much, Professor Littbach. After that mesmerizing contribution, Professor Lipscomb, are you here this evening? Go! Professor Lipscomb.
Doctors with PhDs don't mix with plain MDs, even those who do brain surgeries, except in theory.
Thank you. Well, I can hardly stand the excitement, but our next speaker this evening is Dr. Rich Roberts.
Folks who know laws like Ohm's or study chromosomes won't sit next to folks who study poems, except in theory.
Dr. Wilson, are you here this evening?
Humanists and their peers cannot contain their fears that they'll have to sit with engineers, except in theory.
Dr. Wilson, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. Okay, to finish up our offerings, we have, next on the list is Professor Glashow. Professor Glashow? Yes?
I think that we should get them all to do that again. Come on, boys.
To do it again? Could we possibly contain ourselves? Okay. Ensemble.
Our list is now complete. To the last detail, each dress and what you need, also his emails. The mother of the bride will need our special care. Then she is notified which guest won't be there.
There's no need for deceit. She's really very sweet. We'll just put her in the special seat that works in theory. It is my long-held hope that colors learn to grow after we have tied them down with rope. That works in
Deirdre Allison and the Nobel laureates. The Astrophysics Prize. The Ig Nobel Prize for Astrophysics is presented to The Ig Nobel Prize for Astrophysics is presented to Dr. Jack and Rexella Van Impe of Jack Van Impe Ministries, Rochester Hills, Michigan, for their discovery that black holes fulfill all the technical requirements to be the location of hell. The winners could not or would not be with us tonight. Accepting custody of the prize on their behalf is MIT astrophysicist Walter Lewin.
Do not worry, I'm neither one of the evangelists. But I do accept this prestigious prize on behalf of Jack and Rexella van Impe for their breakthrough contributions to astrophysics by making the intriguing connection between black holes and hell. Now, I do real research in black holes. A black hole is one of the most bizarre, exciting, fascinating, enigmatic, and mind-boggling objects in our entire universe. Black holes are unimaginable. They go beyond our wildest expectations, fantasies, and dreams. As a scientist, you can't wish for more. Black holes are heaven for us. However, we were recently straightened out by Jack and Rexella, who have shown that black holes fulfill all requirements of hell. Now, as a result of their incredible insights, we now have to rethink our ideas about black holes. And I, for one, will be much more careful than ever in getting too close to the inner workings of black holes. And maybe my soul will be spared after all. And here come my 7 words. Black holes are wonderful, but stay away.
Now it's time for the Win a Date with a Nobel Laureate contest. This date is sponsored by Red Bones, the famous ribs joint in Davis Square, Somerville. The happy couple will win a free date with all the fixins at Red Bones, right in the heart of Davis Square. Now here's Karen Hopkin to tell us about our laureate.
Thank you, Mark. Sweet, svelte, and entirely studly, this year's prize, Hirschback Dudley. Cute, cuddly, and smart, Harvard's own Dudley Macho Man Hirschback won a Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1986. A native Californian, Dudley enjoys collision theory and football. And he's working on slowing light down to the speed of a Harvard undergraduate meandering to a departmental seminar. Who would not want to take this man home? Please give a warm win-a-date welcome to Dudley Hirschback.
Okay, now let's see which lucky audience member will win a date with this Nobel laureate. When you entered the hall, you were given an attractive printed program. Turn to page 7 of that program. One of you has a picture there of Albert Einstein filling out an income tax return. If you have that picture, then you've won a date with this laureate. Come on up and collect your date. What? What are they going to do? No, we have a don't ask, don't tell policy on this. Now, the Peace Prize. The Ig Nobel Peace Prize is given to Viljumas Malinauskas of Grūtas, Lithuania, for creating the amusement park known as Stalin World.
I don't speak English, but I can say, I love you. Norėčiau pradėti nuoširdžiausiais sveikinimais iš mažo pasaulio kampelio esančio prie Baltijos jūros iš Lietuvos.
You'd like his speech with sincere greetings from a small corner of the world that is situated near the Baltic Sea from Lithuania.
Pirmiausia, norėčiau nuoširdžiai padėkoti ponui Markui Abrahamsui, kurio seneliai, kaip sužinojau, vakar praeito šimtmečio pradžioje iš Lietuvos atsikėlė į Jungtines Amerikos valstijas.
First, he would like to thank Mr. Mark Abrahams, whose grandparents, as he found out yesterday, came here in America from Lithuania. He would like to say thanks.
Visiems šio renginio organizatoriams, kad buvau pakviestas ir turiu gražią progą apsilankyti jūsų nuostabioje šalyje.
And he would like also to thank all the organizers of this feast for such an invitation to this ceremony and for a chance to visit this wonderful country.
Į šią šventę buvau pakviestas sukūrus sovietinių skulptūrų Grūto parką, Amerikoje įvardinta kaip Stalin World pavadinimu.
He was invited here to for the creation of the Grūtas Park, who is popularly known here as Stalin World.
Pagal jūsų suteiktą Stalin World pavadinimą norėčiau ponui Markui Abrahamsui padovanoti nuo Grūto parko administracijos Stalino bareljefą.
According to such a given name, he would like to make a present for Mr. Mark Abrahams, the best relief of Stalin.
Comrade!
Baigdamas norėčiau gerbiamai auditorijai pakartoti seną visiems žinomą tiesą.
At the end of his speech, he would like to remind this honorable audience one very known old truth.
Geriau vieną kartą pamatyti, negu 10 kartų išgirsti.
It's better to see something once than to hear about it 10 times, isn't it?
Tad kviečiu visus aplankyti nuostabų kraštą Lietuvą ir tuo pačiu Grūto parką.
So, dear ladies and gentlemen, he invites all of you to visit a wonderful country, Lithuania, and as well to see the Grūtas Park.
I believe Mr. Malinauskas has offered a lovely gift to the newlyweds, a no expenses paid trip to Stalin World. Will the chaos theoreticians bar the doors? It's time for the final group of 24/7 seminars. The next 24/7 seminar will be delivered by the revered author of Nature Magazine's Daedalus column, David Jones. Dr. Jones's topic, science. First, a complete technical description of the subject in 24 seconds. On your mark, get set, go.
Science is those recipes which always work, experimental observations. It is the theories and principles built on those observations, the Universian principle. It is the attitude of those who make the recipes to extend the theories and principles. It is tentative, undogmatic, mindful of errors, but the facts behind it make it immensely powerful.
And now, a clear summary that anyone can understand in 7 words. On your mark, get set, go.
Science is predictively understanding the physical world.
The next and final 24/7 lecturer is Harvard University professor Melissa Franklin. Professor Franklin's topic, physics. First, a complete technical description of the subject in 24 seconds. On your mark, get set, go.
Describe any physical phenomena, ham in box, ham with fox, ham on train, ham in rain, in different spacetimes, ham here, ham there, generalize ham anywhere. Write equations, notice similarities, make one equation, make it short or make it Greek, make new symbols that are short, make them script, make it really, really short. Just 3 symbols, stop, scratch your head, draw stick figures instead. Take equation, predict past and future, pause. Describe many phenomena, ham in boat, ham with goat.
And now, a clear summary that anyone can understand in 7 words. On your mark, get set, go.
Describe motion of matter and ask why.
As you all know, in just another 5 or 10 minutes, we'll participate in the wedding of Lisa Danielson and Will Stefanov. No one is more excited about this than Professor William Lipscomb, the 1976 Nobel laureate in chemistry. Please join us as Professor Lipscomb himself narrates a special slideshow. It is entitled Professor Lipscomb Shops for a Wedding Gift.
That doesn't need any explanation. Trying to puzzle it. Eureka! Magnesium. Oh, magnesium. Sorry, I have to get my safety glasses on. Science, magnesia, copper. Oh, well, that was something from a hardware store. Copper wire, iron. Oh. Another one, iron. Calcium. Calcium. Now, that one's a little hard. It's NO. That's Nobelium with a medal right there. The symbol is NO if you can't read it. Next. Aluminum. There it is. Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't buy that one either. Gold. Oh, yes, gold. Well, you just saw it before. Oh, that's gold. Oh, we're in a shop. And that's gold. And silver, they also had in the shop. But I couldn't buy it. I didn't have any money. That's my wallet. It's empty. Mercury. Well, that's a thermometer. That's a Mercury car. A Mercury car. Ford Mercury. I was shopping for another car. That's a neon. What do you know about that? Chlorine. Clorox. Oh, that's close enough. Helium. Aha. Look, a balloon with helium. Just married, it says. Aha. Ah, silicone. Well, that's not silicon. So I decided, oh, wow, look at that. And now a rose for the bride. Yes. Thank you. End of the show.
I believe we had an object which seems to be missing here. Well, I believe the missing object will remain missing. All right. The Technology Prize. The Ig Nobel Prize for Technology is awarded jointly to John Keogh of Hawthorne, Victoria, Australia, for patenting the wheel in the year 2001. And to the Australian Patent Office for granting him innovation patent number 20011000012. The winner could not travel to be with us today, but instead has sent his acceptance speech by audio tape, and we have a slide of him. And pictures from the patent.
When I sat down to draft the patent application for the wheel, I had one objective: to expose a key weakness in Australia's new innovation patent system, which requires the Australian Patent Office to grant an innovation patent for virtually anything that is applied for. The winning of an Ig Nobel Prize, for myself or the Australian Commissioner of Patents, was not an objective I had in mind. Although this prize honours achievements which cannot or should not be reproduced, obtaining a patent for the wheel had some valuable outcomes. The grant of the patent attracted publicity both within Australia and around the world, highlighting a significant issue in intellectual property law in Australia. I would like to thank the Annals of Improbable Research and Harvard University for this award. I can only hope that the awarding of the prize contributes to the push to amend Australian patent laws to ensure that the wheel will not again be patented.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I must have...
Now, at last, the final prize of the year, the Public Health Prize. This year's prize in public health is awarded to Chittaranjan Andrade and B.S. Srihari of the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, Bangalore, India, for their probing medical discovery that nose picking is a common activity among adolescents.
Hi there, everybody. On behalf of myself and on behalf of everybody else who is happy for me today, I'm happy to accept this year's Ig Nobel Prize in Public Health. My work was on, you won't believe it, just hold your breath, rhinothyreoxomania, which is a very fancy way of saying compulsive nose picking. Now, as you all know, having been adolescents yourself at some time, you've done things which were habitual. And I hope you haven't done things that were psychiatrically habitual, such as trichotillomania, which means compulsive pulling of the hair, onychophagia, which means compulsive nail biting, scratching in a particular place, or rhinothyreoxomania. Some people poke their nose into other people's business. I made it my business to poke my business into other people's noses. Thank you, folks. And to anybody out there whom I happen to know and who happens to be watching this on the web, hi.
I believe we have a demonstration.
Mark, you should know better than this. And as for the laureates, acting like children, you should be ashamed of yourselves. You may proceed with the ceremony.
All right. All right.
For you, there's some food, Chinese food.
Thank you very much.
There's more in the back.
Gentlemen. All right. All right. Now, at last the time has come. As you're well aware, we're having a wedding. Here are the final preparations. We asked the public to donate their no longer wanted bridesmaids' dresses for use in the opera and in the wedding. And the public responded, "Would you please bring out the bridesmaids' dresses?" What you're about to see is the final act of our opera. It stars Jim Jenkins as a leading scientist, the Nobel laureates and everyone else as fellow scientists, wedding planners, and wedding guests. This final act of the opera will culminate in the actual wedding of Lisa and Will. Now, here's our narrator, Karen Hopkin.
With a wedding, as with any other experiment, one can plan only so far. At last, the great day arrives, and suddenly a million details need attending to. Here, in the final act of our opera, the wedding is just about to begin. Join us as the scientists take on all the last-minute preparations and solve all the last-minute problems, determined not just to solve them, but to optimize every detail. Take a deep breath now, because the moment these scientists finish their work, the world's most scientific wedding ceremony, all 60 seconds of it, will take place.
People say that she looks hot. Unlike the group, she will complain, and people say that she looks hot. Unlike the group, she will complain, and people say that she looks hot.
And here's the plastic model of a bridegroom scientifical. It's got an artificial brain inside and superficial skull. This model is too tall, that makes the model bright look underfed. We need to trim it down to size, so let us minimize the head.
This model bright is tall, this model bright and underfed. We need to trim it down to size, so let us minimize the head. There was a small truncation error, let's fix this distortion. They say that during weddings you should keep things in proportion. I'm sure if people see him, they will say how very fortunate. He may not have his limbs, but otherwise he is proportionate.
Of all the functions, mathematical and ceremonial, the most complex to scientists, no doubt, is matrimonial. If unpredictability is anything that can be planned upon, in fractious times and fractal ground, you've got no leg to stand upon. In fractious times and fractal ground, you've got no leg to stand upon. On fractious times and fractal ground, you've got no leg to stand upon. On fractious times and fractal ground, you've got no leg to stand upon.
But let us not wax melancholy even theoretically, and let us not eat waxy candy even diabetically. Unhappy pleasure of that kind is something we have in excess when we persuade each bridesmaid to put on her ugly bridesmaid's dress.
Unhappy pleasure of that kind is something we have in excess when we persuade each bridesmaid to put on her ugly bridesmaid's dress.
Designed by Eratosthenes, cute little numbers from his sim. The dresses are in every color from the house of Roy G. Viv. There's pink and beige and mauve and plum, something that they say is zinc, and beige and pink and beige and pink, beige and pink and beige and pink.
That's crazy.
Silk and chintz and taffeta and stuff of names that I forgot. The shapes are more complex than anything by Manuel Grundebrot. Oh, hurry, hurry, put the dresses on, the wedding's gonna start. Here, patch it up with duct tape if your dress is gonna fall apart.
Here, patch it up with duct tape if your dress is gonna fall apart. Here, patch it up with duct tape if your dress is gonna fall apart. Here, patch it up with duct tape if your dress is gonna fall apart.
The flowers
course, the musicians and
The wedding guests are all in place. The relatives are relatively settled down in time and space. The women have been beautified, the men folk all ulterior. Now here's the groom and there's the bride, now let their love be certified. The women have been beautified, the men folk all ulterior. Now here's the groom, now here's the bride, now let their love be certified.
Ladies and gentlemen,
$60 seconds.
60 seconds.
Okay. Do you want to marry him?
Yes, I do.
Do you want to marry her?
Yes, I do.
Okay, say this. William Louis Stefanoff, I love you. Will you marry me and walk the path of life with me?
I'm watching you. William Louis Stefanoff, I love you. Will you marry me and walk the path of life with me?
I will, Lisa.
Okay, you say, Lisa Renee Danielson, I love you. Will you marry me and walk the path of life with me?
Lisa Renee Danielson, I love you. Will you marry me and walk the path of life with me?
Okay.
I will, Will.
You guys got rings? Okay, Lisa Renee Danielson, William Louis Stefanoff, by the power in me vested by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I hereby declare that you have pronounced yourself man and wife. Okay, kids, big kiss.
And now, Dr. Micheline Matthews-Roth will give the traditional Ig Nobel goodbye, goodbye speech.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
So that's probably enough for one evening. Join us on Saturday at MIT at 1 o'clock for the IG informal lectures with many of these same people, but no marriage. And now we'd like you to put your, no, we wouldn't. Now it's time to go home and celebrate. So thank you all for coming, and just remember this final thought. If you didn't win an Ig Nobel Prize, and especially if you did, better luck next year. Thank you.